Hi, this is Dr. Chinning. I want to talk about the fact that Donald Trump just anointed Nancy Pelosi as the Speaker of the House. In effect, what he's done is to divide the Democratic Party from the old guard, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Bernie Sanders, Steny Hoyer, from the millennials who came in. Many of them are very talented millennials, women who fought in the Iraq and Afghanistan war. More importantly, from my point of view, I think that Nancy Pelosi and Donald Trump are very similar in personalities. They had similar backgrounds. Both fathers were immigrants. Nancy's father was an Italian who became the mayor of Baltimore. In the case of Donald, his father was German and was in charge of building houses in Queens and Brooklyn. Both were sent to very rigid schools. In the case of Donald Trump, he was sent to the New York Military Academy. In the case of Nancy Pelosi, she was sent to Catholic school. Both people are quite wealthy. Believe it or not, we know that Donald Trump is a multi-billionaire, but believe it or not, Nancy Pelosi, as of 2014, now I'm going to repeat what she's worth, her net value was $100 million. Let me say it again. As of 2014, her net value was over $100 million. That means that she had been involved in real estate investments, commercial, residential, and all types of real estate investments in San Francisco. Now, where can they work together? Number one, the Democrats and Republicans will certainly work on infrastructure. Nancy has agreed with it. Donald Trump wants infrastructure. And what they want to build bridges, tunnels, and they want to improve the cities, the inner cities, to make sure that everybody has a job. That means that even though we have a very low unemployment, they want to make it even lower and increase the growth rate. Nancy Pelosi will help Donald Trump to negotiate the tariff agreements with China and other countries that have had a problem with Donald Trump implementing the tariff agreements. What we have in effect here is, ironically, an unholy alliance between the Democrats and the Republicans, because both people, they're quite old. Donald's 71. And Nancy is 80 years old. And you have Dianne Feinstein, who's 85, Bernie Sanders, 79, and Grassley, who on the Republican side is 85. So we have an older generation that wants to make their mark on legislation. And Donald will try to help them do it in the way that's most effective. In turn, Nancy will help him to negotiate through the Democratic labyrinth. This is very important, and ironically, this looks like a paradoxical situation, but in fact, there's more similarities, as I pointed out. There are differences. In the words of John Podhoretz, who's a neocon, he said the following: in an unusual election like this one, where we had Strom and Drang, usually what happens in the future is that we have a new kind of election. In the words of David Frum, another neocon, he said one shouldn't spit at one's partner or one's enemy in an election because you will lose that election. Well, in fact, Donald has done a very good job, and he will now work with Nancy Pelosi, and I predict that together they will be very successful. Good luck. Good night.